People often say family bonds are unbreakable, but sometimes what's hidden beneath looks more like venom than love. My name is Adrian, and for nearly 3 decades, I lived under the illusion that those closest to me wanted the best for me. I couldn't have been more mistaken. The very person I trusted above all, my own sister, was secretly working to strip me of everything that mattered. My happiness, my future, and even the woman who had my heart. I first noticed it in the smallest of ways. A smile that lingered too long on her lips when she looked at my fiancé. A sly expression I couldn't pin down. Our parents laughing along with her comments, while dismissing my unease as if I were paranoid. That night, something inside me broke. I realized a real war wasn't waiting for me outside our walls. It was rooted deep inside my own family. And if I didn't fight, I'd lose everything. I grew up in a quiet seaside town, the kind of place where whispers carried across the wind faster than truth ever could. My sister Lena was older, for years ahead, and she carried an aura that drew people in. Teachers adored her. Neighbors praised her. Even our parents seemed blind to her flaws, completely enamored by her charm. I, on the other hand, spent my youth trying to climb invisible ladders, desperate for a kind of recognition that always slipped through my fingers. I thought I had finally escaped all of that when I met Mia. My college love. She was warmth personified, her laugh capable of calming the storm inside me. Our small apartment smelled of coffee and vanilla on slow Sunday mornings, and for the first time in my life, I felt like I was living on my own terms. It was perfect, until Lena appeared where she didn't belong. The night she arrived early, I felt it immediately, the shift in the air. Thick, tense, like the stillness before a violent storm. She leaned in the doorway, her expression unreadable, shadows flickering across her face. A smirk tugged at her lips, half playful, half dangerous. "Do you really believe me as the one?" she asked softly, her tone deceptively casual, but her words cut sharp like glass. I laughed it off, pretending not to hear the venom laced in her voice. But the way she studied me, eyes cold and calculating, told me it was only the beginning. Later that night, she cornered me in the kitchen, her voice low, her breath too close. "You don't deserve her," she whispered. "Someone like me does. Someone who understands you better." My body froze. I couldn't process what I was hearing. It wasn't just envy. It was an attempt to bend my reality, to make me doubt everything I knew about love and loyalty. Not long after, Lena's intentions became undeniable. Mia joined us for dinner, and the way Lena welcomed her was unsettling. Too warm, too intense, her every move deliberate. Every smile, every comment felt like a subtle challenge. Mia, ever kind and polite, didn't notice, but I did, and in that instant, it hit me. Lena wasn't just undermining me. She was trying to reshape the world I had built, beginning with Mia. From then on, it only escalated. Calls from home turned into traps. Lena disguised accusations as concern, twisted my words so they sounded hollow and doubtful when repeated to our parents. At dinners, she accused me of neglecting family, her voice dripping with false care. And my parents, blind as ever, nodded in agreement, echoing, "We just want the best for you." Their support gave her power, and with each nod of approval, I felt the room shrink tighter around me. One night, I came home to find her waiting at my apartment door. No knock, no invitation. Just standing there, with a quiet menace in her eyes. "You're going to lose her," she murmured, barely audible but clear enough to strike through me. That was the moment I understood. This wasn't sibling rivalry. This was calculated, methodical sabotage. Then she began striking at places I never expected. My workplace. She whispered rumors, planting doubts about my focus and stability. Colleagues grew cautious, questioning if Mia and I were as solid as I claimed. Slowly, her influence bled into every corner of my life. And while she attacked my reputation, she also turned her attention to Mia, isolating her bit by bit, so carefully, so discreetly, that no one else could see it happening. Invitations started disappearing without explanation. Casual plans were suddenly canceled, always with excuses that somehow traced back to Lena. Small, cutting remarks slipped from her lips, Does she even fit in with your family? And they lodge themselves in Mia's mind, making her doubt herself. I could see the change. My fiancée, usually grounded and sure of herself, began second-guessing every move. Every shared look between Lena and Mia carried an invisible weight, a silent contest that pressed down on me until I could hardly breathe. One evening, I walked into the living room to find Lena sitting there, sipping tea, her eyes fixed on the dark window. Without turning, she said, almost like a curse, "You're blind, Adrian. She won't last when the flaws start showing. Just wait." I wanted to lash out, to argue, but deep down I knew any outburst would only feed her. She thrived on control. She was a storm, and I had to learn how to stand against it without being torn apart. The night before our engagement party, everything came crashing together. Lena had convinced my parents that I couldn't move forward without her approval, that the celebration had to be delayed until she gave her blessing. My moment, my future, chained to her pride. I paced the apartment, chest tight, feeling cornered. That's when it struck me. If I didn't stop this, she would own every decision I made. Every effort to reason with my parents had collapsed under her influence. Every step toward me I felt blocked. I was suffocating. Part of me considered surrendering, letting her dictate my path. But then I saw Mia's smile in my mind, remembered the trust she placed in me, the future we were building. My throat burned. I couldn't let Lena destroy that. Not this time. Tomorrow, her grip would break. It had to. The day of the engagement arrived, heavy with tension. Lena entered with her head high, radiating the confidence of someone who believed she had already won. Every gesture, every carefully chosen word was a weapon. But this time, I wasn't unprepared. Mia stood at my side, steady, her fingers intertwined with mine. I inhaled, steadied myself, and began to lay bare everything Lena had hidden. Every sly comment, every false seed she had planted, I revealed one by one. I watched her expression fracture, smug assurance fading into disbelief. My parents tried to shield her, but even they couldn't deny what was right in front of them. Piece by piece, the web she'd spun collapsed. For once, she had no power. I didn't need to yell or plead. The truth itself was enough. It cut deeper than any anger could. Her voice rose, frantic now. "You're twisting everything," she snapped, desperation cracking her composure. I stood firm, my tone calm. "No, I'm exposing what's real." My parents' faces paled as they finally saw what had been happening for years. Mia's voice, soft but steady, followed mine. "Adrian's right. We're not letting this continue." For the first time, Lena faltered. The mask she had worn for so long slipped away, leaving her vulnerable. No sharp smiles, no whispered poison. None of it worked anymore. Relief washed over me, but so did something heavier. The realization that this fight wasn't only about her. It was about reclaiming control over my life, about building boundaries no one, even family, could cross again. That night, clarity struck me. Being related by blood doesn't guarantee loyalty. Family isn't an automatic promise of love or respect. For too long, I had let Lena dictate my choices, dim my happiness, and twist my reality. But standing there, I finally chose differently. I chose myself. I chose Mia. I chose the life we were creating. And in that choice, I didn't just win back a moment. I won back my future. Watching Lena break under the truth was painful, and seeing my parent absorb the weight of her betrayal cut even deeper. But it was necessary. Sometimes the most brutal battles aren't fought in the world outside. They're fought quietly within your own home. And sometimes the only way to protect the people you love is to finally stand your ground. I learned that night that trust, love, and loyalty can't be assumed. They have to be proven. And when those closest to you try to shatter your happiness, you face a choice. Surrender to them or fight for the life you deserve. Tell me, if someone you loved most tried to strip away everything you built, would you give in or would you fight back?